I don't have any problems with the crowd figure other than that it's an estimate. If I'm honest with you, I think there's more established Super League sides who don't draw 4,000. So to their own home ground where they actually have played for 10 years or 8 years or whatever it might be. So I think it's a concern for you, which is fair enough. It's not one for me, I would say.
Yeah, I suppose it's the promise of Toronto. They're going to do everything differently. They're going to have all this marketing, and when it comes to it, just the same as everybody else. But there we go. I mean, there's not much really more to talk about really than everybody else has covered for me. It's Saints didn't really need to find second gear. Toronto couldn't really do anything.
None of the tries were special efforts, were they? They were all like
barely meat and potatoes.
Had done their two really good pieces of defence in that set and couldn't do a third sort of feel to it, weren't they?
There's only so much John Wilkin can do on his own. He needs some people with him. Defensively, he can't be in people's shirts.
One of the highlights was for the game was the hit that Gadwin Springer put on Luke Thompson, but then the very next play, he just sort of walked away from where Johnny Lomax ran without any attempt to make a tackle in the space that he should have been occupying. So it's almost like, well, great, fucking impressive, you hit a big man, but back it up, mate. And that's sort of the problem for Toronto in this game. They could do some things well, but they couldn't back it up effort on effort on effort.
And that could be what does them for the season, is that they can't carry it on throughout the whole season. That they can do a couple of good plays that will win them in the odd match, but they won't be able to get it, back it up enough. That would be my take on it.
Yeah, and actually, as well, they should be asking for a refund from the playing for free that Tony Gigo's getting for the amount of mistakes he dished up in this game. In admittedly not wonderful conditions, but still, you'd expect a man of his quality to have made a few fewer mistakes.
Yeah, but there we go.
Do you get where Brian McDermott seems to be coming from with this constant talk of positives? I could understand it 2 weeks ago against... I could understand it after the game against the one against Warrington, where they showed a great comeback, scored a lot of points. I can understand it even to an extent against the one against Wigan, where they were competitive for an hour. Same against Salford, they were very competitive. They were competitive for almost the entirety of that match. So I could get it after those games. I don't see it after this game. I know they were playing against a St Helens side that were very good, but this was a chance to sort of look at Saints whilst they were in a lull, and through I guess selection inability as much as anything else, but still, they just gave the game to Saints, didn't they? This one was the most frustrating game that Wolfpack have dished up. They were off the pace in the first game. That was understandable. We're 5 games in now to this season. They shouldn't be as off the pace as they were in this one, and they just kept giving Saints every opportunity to say, okay, we'll just walk over.
Yeah, I think that's just, there wasn't a point where you thought they could build on this, they could put a couple of sets together and get something. That point didn't come for me.
No. Right, let's move on to Sunday. We had 3 games on Sunday, the first of which was Huddersfield versus Wigan. It was 20 points to 10 at half-time after Huddersfield had a 10 points to 4 advantage until the 35th minute when Aidan Caesar took Thomas Luluai's chin out of the game. It ended up rolling out 42-10 to Wigan in this one. 6,574 were there. Good Wigan following crowd within that. James Child was the referee. In terms of the stats, Wigan attacked and defended better. 143 more metres and 9 breaks to 1, plus a 3.7% better team tackle success rate. Individually, Liam Marshall, 3 tries, probably should have been 4, but for a forward pass to him. 9 tackle busts, 154 metres and 5 clean breaks. Bevan French, 1 try assist, 6 tackle busts and 142 metres in a game where he didn't have as many splash moments as we've seen before. Liam Farrell, 9 tackle busts and 141 metres. And Sam Powell, 1 try assist, 50 tackles and a 40-20. For the losing Huddersfield side, Adam O'Brien grabbed himself a try, which was reward for his hard work defensively, where he had 44 tackles, 12 of which were marker tackles. Sam Wood, playing on the wing, had 6 tackle busts and 117 metres. Jake Wardle, who was one of the Huddersfield players to come out of the whole 80 minutes with some credit, I felt, was 115 metres from him in a couple of close, just held up situations in attack. Jerry McGilvray, 110 metres, his obligatory appearance on the stats rundown. We had one fan view. Do you want to take us through that before I give the Wigan fan view?
Yeah, Rob said, we dominated until the sin binning, which definitely changed the game because they got 4 tries in 6 minutes, which were because of how poor we were defensively, which is what we've been good at for the first 3 games. Wigan showed us how to attack when on top. We just turned into the team we have been the last couple of seasons when Caesar was off and was too knackered to get back into it.
Yeah, and it makes a fair observation there, does Rob? For the first half an hour, just about the first half an hour, Wigan struggled to make ground. The Giants did win the territory, win the field position, and win the meterage battle as well. To be honest, they were good during that period of time. But what they didn't do is take advantage of it, and I will move on to that. But I do think, as much as the sin binning changed the game, and I think it was the correct call from where I could see it, it looked like he went clean round the chin, so it seemed consistent with the Ben Murdoch-Masila one the night before, a couple of nights before. But George Burgess, I also felt, changed the momentum of this game. Just before the sin binning, he came on to the pitch. He went on to have a really powerful game and definitely deserved his try that he grabbed late on. Harry Smith continues to impress. He came on for Thomas Luluai, who was taken off as a precaution with the concussion situation there, and Harry Smith was very impressive. He actually, arguably, I'd say he was better than Jackson Hastings in this game overall. I think Harry Smith, great kicking game on the kid. There were a few other good show-ins, but Marshall was the standout. Everyone by now should have seen the try that he scored on the stroke of half-time. If not, pause the recording, watch the try, come back to it, because I'm going to talk about it quite a bit.
You might want to go and watch it again, and this time with your hands above your waist.
It was brilliant. It was fantastic. So his skill did turn the game at that point. For the Giants, I think Matangi was good in the opening exchanges when the Giants were the better side. But very early on, 10 minutes into the game, they chose to take the 2 when it was 0-0. They should have attacked. They'd basically had all of the momentum in the game building their way. Wigan had made an error near their own line, uncharacteristically, and then a penalty came shortly after that. And I just do not understand. I do not understand why they didn't run the ball. The penalty actually came when Wigan were in possession. Sam Powell was penalised for pushing Adam O'Brien at the ruck. I mean, he made sure he made a lot of it to make sure the referee saw it. But it was a penalty. It was given, and the Giants at that point had all of the play. They definitely were on top. I think against a team like Wigan, you've got to take your chances, because Wigan don't allow you many chances. They're allowing the fewest clean breaks in the league. They only scored 1 try. They only made 1 break, and that's because they didn't push when they were on top, I feel. At that point, the Wigan were on the back foot, and Huddersfield, they needed more than 2 from that situation, because in the first half, Wigan could only really get out of their own end when Huddersfield slipped up with discipline. Penalty count was pretty even in that first half, but whenever the Huddersfield Giants did let Wigan up the field, Wigan scored. Wigan scored 4 tries in the first half. They only had 3 attacking sets. That tells you that Wigan were better in execution, definitely. In terms of the highlight moment, Oliver Partington's try will go down for him as a highlight moment, because he feels like he used some amazing footwork, but actually 2 Giants players fell over, so it was poorly defended, but still credit to the kid. He
got himself off that nudie run.
Yeah,
You know?
and George Burgess, his performance overall was a highlight, and his try was well deserved, definitely. But for me, it has to be Marshall's try from the kickoff just before halftime. I mean, what a play! Watch it over and over and over again. He actually interviewed after the game for the Wigan TV channel, and he summed it up really well. He said, "Well, the left winger was doing the kickoff, so the fullback went out to that side, so I knew that there was no one covering. So as long as I could, as long as he could beat the men in front of him, which he was able to, and the bounce of the ball was fair, which it was on a good pitch, he was going to win. So yeah, very very well deserved win for Wigan in the end. The sin-bin period definitely did contribute to turning things around, but Wigan executed brilliantly during that period, took all of the chances that came their way, and then after that, Huddersfield were so deflated that they just couldn't consistently stop Wigan from running in a few more tries. Wigan were massively the better team by the end of the 80 minutes.
Fair enough.
Let's move on to the surprise of the round.
Certainly the banter game, where it finished Hull FC 29, Catalan 34, or as I referred to them on yesterday over the P8, that team from the south of France, 34. Finish. It was 16-10 at half-time in front of a decent 12,003. Definitely not 11,998. Definitely 12,003. And because it's Catalan, it had to be Gareth Hughes refereeing, of course.
He does do a lot of Catalan games, yeah.
He must speak French.
It would be an explanation as to why he seems to do a disproportionate amount of Catalans games, doesn't it? But I don't know how many Catalans players speak French.
Most of them just let their funky music do the talking.
What about stats?
I suppose it is only girls allowed, isn't it? With Catalan. Home side Hull FC made 104 more metres, 5 fewer errors, and had a better team tackle success rate. Although Catalan made ground at a better average game and made an extra break. Stats call for a closer game that could have gone either way, and that's exactly what we got. For Catalan, Samasoni Langi took a try, 1 try assist at 148 metres. Julian Busquet running for 114 metres. Benjamin Garcia, 43 tackles. And Mickey McAlorum, 1 try assist, 44 tackles, 14 of those from marker. In terms of the losing Hull FC side, that's the losing Hull FC side, Manu Mao, 1 try, 7 tackle busts, 139 metres. Tavita Satai, 137 metres. Jamie Shaw, 1 try, 5 tackle busts, 124 metres. And Josh Crippen running for 121 metres. And we had quite a few fan views on this.
Yeah,
one.
Good response to this game. Although I'm guessing most of the views being from Hull FC fans, they won't be too chuffed on what they get to tell us. But Fatboy Rob certainly seemed to enjoy the result. He said, "Sales of white sheets and black paint spike in Hull. #Radford out."
Tom Andrews said, well, who'd have thought we'd be in a relegation scrap with the champions elect? What, Toronto? Wonder if the rainbow bed sheets, they don't do flags in West Hull, still had Radders out on the back. I can't see this shadow we were always meant to be in when it's gloomy over there.
Malcolm Matias said, "Come karma rebound. Haters gonna hate haters gonna hate haters then get beat."
Yes. Page says, "Can't play for 80 minutes. Letting go 28-10 lead. The match should have been put to bed. You don't see teams like Wigan and Saints just stop playing. Well, you do sometimes. Into semi-finals. Very poor game management. Team attitude needs to change. Can't take anything from Catalans, though. They played some good rugby. I just hope we learn from this and bounce back fast."
Steve Pye said, "What a disappointing afternoon with Hull FC snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. FC deservedly edged the first half and took control of the second, which makes yet another second half collapse all the more puzzling. Some really poor defence cost us, and in attack we are some way off fluent best. Huge 2 games coming up now which will shape our season.